Hello, 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 and welcome to the Rag Company podcast. Just kidding, it's Q&A Thursday, and we're looking a little different this week. We've got some remote settings due to the advancement of COVID stuff happening here in the state of Idaho. We're taking some extra precautions, and we're just making sure, things are on the up and up. And I think Levi and Anthony are acclimating quite well to it. Just look at Levi over there. He's already munching on something.
Hanging out.
I better put on my headphones.
Are you going to eat that whole bowl? Is that your plan?
Mm-hmm. Well, apparently.
All right.
So I should take a moment to introduce our guest today. Most importantly, we've got Gtechniq in the house. What's going on, guys?
What's happening, TRC?
Welcome to the show. And we have a lot of comments and questions for these guys already.
Well, one thing that's funny, Dane and Anthony, is that if Eric had actually been able to attend TRC and come visit us, he actually would have been leaving yesterday.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
We would have been whitewater rafting on Sunday.
Yep, you missed. Yep. So we originally were going to have them come down. They were going to come hang out. We were going to shoot some videos. We were going to do all that. But with the COVID action here in Idaho, we had to kibosh that. And now with SEMA being canceled, I just don't know what we're going to do. So we thought we'd do it this way. Make it a lot easier on everybody.
Yeah, we're just gonna do this. Why not?
Yeah. Super fun. Super exciting.
The way this is going to work is as the comments come in, we can all talk. You guys can run away with it, but I'm going to throw comments up on the screen. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it on one of your monitors there. You'll be able to see it so we can all see the same thing and be answering that. But you guys take it away, and I'll go ahead and start putting some up on the screen. How's that?
Love it. Do it, Dave. Get it.
All right. First up, we got Jeff C., winner, actually, from a couple weeks ago of our little super secret prize.
Jeff C. actually won the final KXK PR1 rack that we all signed that originally hung in the backdrop of most of our videos in our old studio. So we all signed it, and then Jeff won it. So congrats.
Piece that Morgan McMurray signed as well.
Yeah. Last item out the door.
Wow.
It's going to become a vintage pretty soon.
So this one starts off for the Gtechniq guys. It's a question from Jeff C. asking, what are your thoughts on CSL only versus CSL plus EXO? Kyle from Obsessed Garage says he prefers CSL only, topped with bead maker, better hydrophobics and self-cleaning ability. Thanks.
Got it. So Kyle tagged me in this morning, and I have been pondering it for some time. So Jeff C., thank you for forcing a response. I reached out to the big man himself, Robert Earl, the owner and managing director of Gtechniq out of the United Kingdom, and asked him the same question. So from the man himself, the proper answer is that in order to have a self-cleaning surface, in his mind, in his world, you need 150 degrees or more of contact angle. So he's saying that EXO being 110 plus, it's not giving you the contact angle to even get into the world of what he considers self-cleaning. So with Kyle, I also prefer CSL by itself. EXO on top is just going to give it that little bit of extra, right? But in regards to the using of bead maker or another topper spray, it all comes down to personal preference. But in the world of the lab, the self-cleaning is going to be terribly difficult to document.
Okay. No, I think that's solid.
Wow.
Any last notes there before I move on?
I would like to add that Crystal Serum Light on its own is got more of a sheeting property to it. So CSL on its own will probably have a little bit more of that self-cleaning in it, I would say, than EXO. EXO is a lot more hydrophobic. So that hydrophobic layer, you get a lot more water beading and things like that, which is what some customers like. But with that water beading, you also come into the risk of getting water spots and more things stuck to the surface as those water spots dry out.
Sure. No, that makes perfect sense.
Great point.
All right, next up, we've got Dan Pfeiffer, fan of the show.
Give
Of
us a
course.
word
Let
up.
me get I
Anthony,
was
you want to
gonna
read
guess
this
that he
one?
said- yeah, I was hoping he was going to say "word up, man," but I guess not. So, there we go. There it is.
Yeah.
It is in there. So, good afternoon and word up from Minneapolis, home of the one and only Jeff C. Wow, I didn't even know Jeff C was.
So nice
from
just talking on
Minneapolis.
behalf of the other guy. Okay.
Well, I actually like Jeff
Yeah,
C's
it's a
emoji
Viking
because I think there's a Viking on it, right? So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Now-
Sports ball.
Yeah. Minnesotan here.
Now, one thing I'm going to say here is I may, and I apologize to people in the comments, I may skip some comments that are more like super brief and conversational. You guys, of course, could still see them, but I'm going to try and stick to the ones that are actually asking questions. So we'll make sure we do that, but we'll address stuff along the way. So
we got a
I'm
lot
going to,
of Jeff C and Pfeiffer. So
yeah, so I'm going to pull up Dan again here, who actually has a comment now, question. Go ahead and take
why
it,
the need
guys.
for a separate wheel coating? Can CSL EXO truly not hold up on wheels? And do rims actually get that hot? Thanks. Well, yeah, the
So,
wheels
Levi,
do
I'm
that.
gonna turn- do you- Levi, do you have headphones?
No.
We're getting the reverb from your voice.
Are you?
Yeah.
Let me get in here and see if I can switch it over. Continue.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead and take it, guys.
what I need-
Another great and common question. So when a product is built for a specific purpose, it's built for a specific purpose. It does not mean that other products that do well will not do well. And instead of just repeating myself, we'll just say this. There's a lot of cars, like if you have a sweet Jag on some new 20s that's black, sitting in the sun near a desert in August, that hood may be getting as hot as a hopped up Hyundai's wheel ripping home from a hard day of work.
Oh, yeah.
So again,
That's what you do.
it's just, we know C5 is going to perform in the toughest of conditions on the wheel and on the calipers and so on and so forth. We know that. That's what it was built for. Does not mean that CSL will not do well. So this is the second sort of obsessed garage influence. Anthony, if you want to show your shirt for a plug, that'd be great. Maybe get a little flex. So, Matt's a huge fan of CSL on everything. We have some installers who are huge fans of C0 on everything or CSU on everything. It's really about finding the product that you like that performs the way that you desire.
Sure.
Nice.
I like
So-
that.
Okay. Well, and Anthony, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's okay. One other key thing is that the C5 is actually a quartz-based coating versus CSL is composite-based. So there's
Okay.
two different chemical makeups with the coatings themselves.
No, what I was going
You
to
can
point
stack
out
C5.
was, sorry. Yes, I was going to say you have it on your exhaust though, Anthony. I was going to point that out.
Yeah. So I have it on the exhaust of the car that I don't drive very often. So, and it looks amazing. Who would have thought, right?
I wore the shirt to match the Civic. I hope we were going to coat the
did
Civic
you?
exhaust.
Had nothing to do with Gtechniq. It was all about the Civic.
I need to do the entire Civic when I find an ounce of time. I'm most likely going to do CSL EXO, regardless of the hydrophobic properties. Of what thinks what is better. I want to know that the car has extra protection. But I need to go through. I'm going to do C5 on the exhaust, and who knows? We might even make a video on the exhaust install of C5. But ultimately, though, there is a big difference. Though, when we were using CSL the other day, and we were doing it on Gabe's truck, right? And we topped it with EXO. We went back through all the applicators, we went back through the towels just to see, how crunchy some of these things got, right? And how bad they felt.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, the towels did not feel bad, right? Some of them actually felt softer than before, probably because they're all clogged, which is totally normal. But what was interesting is that the towels and the applicators that we used with C5, holy crap, man. We had some product dry on the outside of the bottle, and it was literally hard as a rock. It was so strong, and it blew Gabe's mind because he
And
didn't know.
C4, even C4, also the trim protector.
Yeah, because when you tell people that you're putting a layer of ceramic coating, you're putting this hard shell, right? They see it applied and they think that doesn't look like a hard shell. and then you show them the leftover bottle and maybe some of the runoff on it and all the crystallized stuff on it. You say, this is what's on your part there. They're like, oh crap, that is very substantial.
So I got one as a follow-up for you here that's related to what you were talking about, more or less. How long does C5 typically last on wheels for a well-maintained daily? Will Breakbuster at 10-to-1 or occasional iron removers degrade the coating? Would polishing be required to recoat? You guys can all fill in on this one.
Yeah. So Minnesota coming through again, right? With that said, locals to Minneapolis, please come out on Saturday to watch us next Saturday to launch the Crown Rally in front of the St. Paul Capitol. Also, if you know of any pockets that we should not go to because of political reasons, please let us know. That would be very helpful.
Yeah, get on.
So to answer the question, so we say up to 2 years, and that really depends on how the car lives, 100%. So as long as you're keeping your cleaner within that range, not going super, high or low on the pH scale, you're not going to degrade the product. Absolutely not. It's just going to degrade over time from the mix of heat, so on and so forth. With that said, some of the states who see some very heavy snow and they're using the different brines and the different salts, the municipalities don't care what that pH is. They just care that you don't slip off the road and crash. So you would see, like in New York, we were getting a strong year plus, but if you got a really bad winter, you were seeing that degrade earlier simply because what they're spraying on the roads is just that nasty. So you would not have to polish to reapply. You would just go back with a thorough decontamination, a little bit of panel wipe, and put another coat on. Again, quartz-based, you can stack it, no problem.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm serious about the not going weird spots, though, if you guys can give us a
Dan Pfeiffer says, I'm happy with the Gtechniq products I've used so far. Awesome, Dan. What else we got, Dane?
We've got Stefan, who you mispronounced his name a couple weeks ago. We'll try again.
What did I say? Stephanie?
You called him Lacombe. It's Lacombe.
Lacombe. Hey, I like that. That's fun. Hello, everyone. I purchased TFWs, right? Hey, you know what? I said his last name wrong. He said our towel name wrong. They're FTWs, not TFWs. We're even.
It's just a little switcheroo.
There you go.
He says he intends to use it with bead maker once it's washed immediately after. Can I use it as a glass towel with my next washes? Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
No issues there.
All right. We got Shervan here with a note of advice for Gtech.
Ooh.
He's saying dry clean
that?
should be concentrated.
And then he wants to know if Gtechniq has an enzyme cleaner. He's got two questions there, Dane. So dry clean should be concentrated.
So, it kind of is. It kind of is. When I train shops, I keep it straight for really, really bad situations, right? So your Uber drivers, or you're still in college and your buddy was not happy in the back seat. We like straight for that. 4-to-1 works really good for your maintenance cleanings, and then even up to 8-to-1 or so for a quick interior wipe down. And it's going to do more so than what a lot of the enzyme cleaners is going to do. It's going to go in and take care and kill all of that an enzyme cleaner is going after.
Okay.
That's cool to know.
No, I can say I'm a big fan of dry clean. Having used it a few times, it's awesome stuff. Let's see.
Another one I like too is W5 10-to-1, our multi-purpose cleaner. That is really
citrus,
great. On particular interior surfaces, carpets, agitation, that sort of thing. It's really, really good for that.
Okay, duly noted. We've got JWL here saying we need a fabric protector against water stain, UV, and that can darken lightly faded fabrics on parcel shelves, for example. Okay. What do you guys
parcel
think?
Shelf?
Well, that's the rear
chances are he's from the UK, maybe, or something. So you got the boots and
we call it the rear deck.
The boots and the bonnets and the parcel shelves and the That's not a slight against the UK. I really enjoy actually just the fun little twist on the language. I learned very
Dane-
quickly
Dane
about
learned very well how
valeters, that whole situation. That's a fun story. You should go back and listen to it sometime.
Oh,
We got
how
Wrecked
embarrassing,
Puddle
Dane.
here. Oh, perfect. What's up, guys? Is it true that you can use CSL plus EXO on a freshly painted car? Will it allow the paint to off-gas?
So it is true. So our official recommendation, don't mind me kicking the table with my leg, we look for a booth cure and 72 hours of air cure prior to coating. So that is the official answer. People go and do things differently, and that's cool. What I always, though, will tell a shop, I'll always tell a detailer, listen to the painter. And the reason being is that they will make it the coating's fault every single time. Every time it's the coating's fault, the detailer's fault, every single time. So if the painter is not giving you the thumbs up, there's no reason to risk it, right? You want to get that car 45 days later, inspect it, and go, Mr. Customer, Mrs. Customer, here's the surface we're working with that you were left with by the painter, and we're going to enhance this and protect it. At which point the painter cannot come back and say, no, the coating made the fisheye, or the coating made the clear coat delaminate because it wasn't prepped right, or the coating ate the blend. We've heard it all. So the best bet, even though we 100% know it will do what it has to do, is always listen to the painter. Don't take on their liability.
No, that makes perfect sense. And just as a whole business practice, that's how you should be probably treating it. So next up, we've got Carnuba, our friend Zaya here. Looks like he ran into some trouble in the woods. What's going on here?
Well, he's been off doing some Army stuff. So says literally just finished a land navigation course and ran into a black bear. Besides that, would 2 layers of ultralight be comparable to 1 layer of ultra regarding gloss and durability? # miss you guys.
Miss you too, bud.
So ultra being a composite, the way that we talk about this in training is think of a solid being in water and a solid being in alcohol. So 1 layer of ultra in a way is 2 layers. So you have the first bond when the alcohol evaporates and the second bond when the water evaporates. That first bond is really looking for clear coat or don't laugh, Anthony, a virgin surface, right? Not saying you can't stack it. We just don't stack it because the product is built to bond that way.
Okay, hopefully that
I
satisfies.
like how I laughed only because of Anthony's reaction.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
I mean, we're always looking for virgin surfaces, right? So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of finding it and.
So I'm just going to hit the send button.
It's the same thing when we use bird defecate.
It sounds so professional.
Like, how do you go into a dealership with 15 people in suits who sell Ferraris and talk about a bird defecate by using another word? It really doesn't work. So, virgin surface just makes sense.
It's classy.
Nice.
All right, we got to hinder here.
To hinder.
That's what I'm
Dane,
going with.
Go for it.
Can
Dane,
anyone
go for
tell if we can use Chemical Guy's Jet Seal on top of waxed or already sealed car? Well, I don't have experience with Jet Seal. Do any of you?
I've used Jet Seal before.
I've played with it once or twice.
A very long life.
It's a sealant, so you can put, sure, if you want to, you can do that. There's just really no reason to. If you already have wax on the car, I mean, Jet Seal would be your bottom layer if you wanted to top that with something else.
Sure.
I was just going to say the same thing. Just probably pick one and use it. Don't overcomplicate it. Just pick one that you like and use it.
Yeah, that's probably the fairest assessment of all, is just not going nuts, because eventually things start to not play nice with each other.
Well, he's wanting to put Jet Seal, a layer of Jet Seal on top of Meguiar's NXT 2.0 or on top of PNS Beadmaker.
Usually, if you're doing that stuff, The bead maker works better on top of other things. Other things don't stick to it very well.
Well, I honestly, Tender, if you want me to just be honest with you, right?
Go for it. That's what this show's for.
NXT 2.0 and Jet Seal, right? Those products have been around for about 10 years. I think almost probably exactly 10 years. NXT came out forever ago, and Jet Seal came out forever ago. And they're both great products at that time, right? They were a really good polymer-based sealant. And I think they are good for store-bought products, but honestly, I think that you'd be better off just using bead maker and, if that as a sealant, and then putting more bead maker every couple weeks.
Or what's right there behind these guys is even better.
A little, maybe a C2v3, something like that.
Yeah. C2v3, honestly, you're going to get you're going to get longer life than.
He'll get longer life out of C2v3 on its own. And if you're a diehard of wanting to use bead maker, you can use C2v3 and put bead maker on top of it. Whatever you want to do. But basically, you do want a sealant as your base, no matter what you do. So hopefully that helps.
All right. So I've got a few more here. Here's a quick one from Mark Abar, simply saying he ran across 2 scorpions on his run across a parking lot. Just letting Isaiah.
Yeah. Man, where's all this name from?
Right? Yeah. Card detailing by Pat Inc. Just saying thank you for taking the time out of our already busy days to have these Q&As. That's why we do it. We want to help you guys out. We love having guests on here. It adds an extra dimension to this whole thing. It's really fun, and it's our best way of doing customer service in a way that, brings you to us, right? So that's the fun of it. Moving along, we've got William. Why don't you take this one, Anthony?
We got William here asking, or I guess I should say saying, hi, can anyone advise me on engine bay and engine cleaning? I used to use AutoSmart G101 and then agitate it and power wash it off, but there's so much electrics, etc., which is now the recommended way. I mean, you weren't too far off, man. I mean, really, if anything, in modern day vehicles, right? I mean, the way that they are protecting these engines and putting covers and all sorts of stuff on them, they're probably more protected from water than ever before in terms of electronics and the things that can get wet. So I would say you can continue the same method. So Gtechniq has their citrus all-purpose cleaner, which is citrus all-purpose cleaner. You can use that. If you wanted to rinse the engine bay, spray it down with the APC, agitate it with your favorite brush or towel or however you like to do it, and then rinse off, you can absolutely do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And so I would say, and then using your favorite protectant. Eric, what protectant would you use on an engine bay plastic?
Well, so if we can get to it C4 for sure.
Yeah.
We don't have, so our 2 dressings, really for tire and trim. If I was going to pick one, it would be T2 being water-based. We want to stay away from a solvent-based dressing in a engine compartment, right? So if we're going to use one, it would be T2, but I've never done it personally. I've C4'd cowls and I've C4'd engine covers and all sorts of other bits in the engine compartment with great results. But we don't have anything that you would traditionally spray over a washed engine, in a quick dollop, if you will, or a dealer environment.
Well, you could try Easy Coat.
You could do that. Or just really a water-based dressing. If you have a favorite water-based dressing already, I'll just throw out like McGuire's their hyper dressing, right? That's a product that you can clean the engine. You can clean the engine bay, rinse it off, spray on a hyper dressing or a water-based dressing, literally close the hood, let it sit, and it will basically absorb into all those plastics, leaving a really, really nice finish. And all you have to do is just go back and touch some things up. So check that out. Here we go. We have what's that, Dane?
Oh, I was going to say, if it's a British car from before the year 1996, just don't touch it at all. Just don't touch it.
Yeah, it's probably a good rule.
Lucas is the enemy.
Dan Pfeiffer says, don't overthink it. Cover the alternator. You should be just fine. Just don't blast the pressure washer. It's going to be close to anything. Yeah. And you're fine. Whether you're doing it with a hose or a pressure washer, there's really no issues. William Craddock says, which other chemicals would you recommend with a cold water power wash?
Levi? you're doing a just cold water power wash, like for the engine or for.
He's the one who asked the
engine
engine question. So
I know, but I'm just saying, if you're going to be doing, the engine bay and you're using like the citrus all-purpose degreaser or cleaner on the engine bay, that's really all you're going to need to do. You might want to grab a brush so you can scrub it a little bit, but I'm cold water pressure washing some motors in my driveway, and that's all I really do. I've been diluting some of it because I like to dilute my degreasers or all-purpose cleaners and put those in, and see what I can usually get. If you agitate it, you'll get a lot better. And then, yeah, I really like the idea, Chris, of using Easy Coat. I think it's a smart idea. So,
yeah.
All right.
We got JD here just asking, what is the durability of CSL without EXO?
Yep. So again, if we were going to do a list of frequently asked questions based off of common misconception, this is one of them for sure. So CSL is a 3 to 5 year product. We say that because of the professional prep that goes involved with our guarantees versus you doing it yourself. The up to 2 year addition of EXO is that product by itself or sitting on top of CSL. So there's no math involved. So we don't go 3 to 5, making it 5 to 7 just because EXO is involved. So CSL by itself is 3 to 5, and EXO is that 18 to 24 months. So if we're going to use CSL at 3 years, you're going to reapply EXO about midway through, and then EXO is going to be there at the same amount of time that CSL will be.
Okay. No, that makes sense. We've got Functional Doc here. I'm going to throw him up on the screen. Love my CSL topped with EXO, then topped regularly with C2v3, diluted 1-to-1 with distilled water post-wash. Learned this from Eric at Gtechniq. Wow, I think I know the guy. He may be in this room right now. Well, not exactly, but close enough.
Who's the same guy who's dying from the water?
Yeah.
Good, yeah,
Anthony,
so
we just got Mike here. Mike Spina,
Yeah.
our Coca-Cola friend, not friend of Levi,
Yes, he
apparently.
is.
Just saying how
No.
everybody's doing, saying, hey, TRC gang. Then we've got Vigor Auto Detailing, friend of the show, Joe. We saw him at this year. Actually, it was like the last thing we did as a trip was this year's Serum Summit. So he was there. Yeah.
Seems so long ago, man.
It does.
Yeah,
it doesn't even
crazy.
feel like this year. This year has been the longest decade.
Being snowed in together, where we had to almost resort to eating each other. That was crazy.
Honestly,
That was
I
long.
enjoyed the adventure.
It was wild.
Definitely was.
So he says, yo, what's up, people? I'm working on a black Acura MDX that had tree branches scrapes on the side of it. Yeah, that
Pinstripes.
sucks. Nothing like some good pinstripes. What
Oh,
else we
Functional
got?
Doc. Just feels
So we
different
got-
without Morgan. Oh,
she's here in theory.
yes. For all we know, she could be watching in the comments. That is something she
I
would
highly
do.
doubt that. I highly, highly doubt that, Dane.
Just
So
try it.
we do have some interesting developments with Joe over there in Ohio from Vigor Auto Detailing. We're not going to
Oh, yeah.
put it out there, right? But you guys are going to see some pretty exciting, fun stuff that Joe gets to be a part of. So,
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay.
little
Well, keep an eye on Joe. So, for
then
those who don't know,
Steven-
look up Vigor Auto Detailing. Yep.
Is that Steven Steppe?
That's Steven
Steppe.
Step. We'll just go with Step.
Step. Okay. He says, what is the best decon soap? Eric, do you got anything for decon?
So W4 citrus foam, definitely followed by a little bit of the W6 iron remover is my go-to. My go-to for sure.
First
I
thing
like
you
that.
turn to when you're trying to decon.
W5 when your car is really dirty too.
Yeah, Chris loves his W5.
W5.
Nice.
We got
It's
Mark
product
6
for
here. Anthony,
All
you got
right.
this one.
He says, hey, TRC, I was wondering when you guys will release the IK spray bottle. Thanks. So they are on their way, as far as I know. They'll be here soon, and we will be releasing them. I think we're just currently waiting right now. So it was the people that got them in Europe. Obviously, IK did their European release sooner than the US, so they got theirs ahead of time.
They're based in the Basque country, so it only makes sense. They're in Spain.
So
they're on their way. We have them ordered. They're on their way.
Yeah.
So we'll have them soon. Also, we just got the email blast just went out. Which means I believe Gtechniq products are now available at theragcompany.com. So,
all right.
Wow.
You guys can get on there and get some.
Out there. All right, cool. So, go and check that out. We've got Mr. K here, mysterious Mr. K. What's the flash time for CSL? Eric, what's the flash time?
Are we talking August in Florida, or are we talking,
that's the
December
right
answer? So you're just going to look for that phase separation. It's going to change with the season. It's going to change with humidity. Most will keep it below a minute. You can with CSL, by the time you're done applying it, the phase change is usually happening. So it's almost an immediate wipe, though you don't have to have anxiety about it. It's sitting around for a tiny bit is not going to hurt anything.
Okay. We've got Future Prison here, who I believe is in Australia. I can't recall if he is or not. Just saying, hey.
6 weeks.
Yikes.
Whoa.
6 weeks of lockdown. That doesn't sound fun.
I actually saw that from another Australian detailer. I think they called it phase 4, which is, all right, let's not get into that right now.
Nope.
Anyway,
we've got a name that I will not attempt to pronounce, nor will Anthony, but they say hello, guys.
Come
from
on,
Iceland.
can I at least try?
Okay.
Try at least.
Butcher it. What you got?
All right. Balapvotur.
That is. I don't know if that's right, but I'm sure it's not right.
So he says, "Hello, guys from Iceland. Welcome."
Well, thank you for watching. We appreciate that. Seriously, we're just trying to have fun too. That's all.
Yoshi says, "Digging the beard over the mustache only." Anthony, dude, honestly, this is what's been going on. I lost my shaver in the move, right?
Oh.
So I went out and I bought another shaver. I went out and bought another one. I went to Walmart and picked up one. It's the worst. It pulls the hair instead of cutting it. So I used it before I went camping. I had all these ingrown hairs because it basically didn't trim them right. And my face was killing me, man. So if anybody has any just killer shavers for just kind of buzzing things down. I don't like the handheld electric shavers. I like the buzzers, right? Let me know what you guys got. I want something that's high power, that won't cut me, that works good on everywhere, right? Levi works.
What's that?
I don't know.
You get the trimmer from that dude. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I looked into that, and people said that they were kind of overrated and that they still clipped their nether regions, even though it says it didn't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
Well, so just like everything else, you have to
Levi's got a method. Levi's got a routine that he does. I don't know what it is, and I'm afraid to ask.
Just grow a beard out and be done with it.
I've posted my trimming solution, my body hair trimming solution package. It's on the podcast discussion group page, and I think I even posted it in our group chats that we do. So,
okay,
but it's a good time. So, Dane, what's the next question here?
It's already up there, and it's just for Levi.
Oh, Levi, how to remove water spots on PPF and on plastic like taillights? Well, same kind of thing. Chemically try and remove them, and if you can't, then at that point on PPF, induce some heat to them. But if you can't induce a little heat, then you're pretty much SOL. On taillights, just compounding and polishing after it's been chemically removed, that'll work. So, if they're too far in, they're too far in. So.
We got Scoop Master.
Scoop Master from Puerto Rico. Hi to all. Applying CSL alone, good. XOV4 alone, good. Applying XOV4 over CSL is a little smeary. Any recommendations? Scoop Master, because I just did this last week, or the beginning of this week on Gabe's truck, the Red Eagles work amazing as a final wipe down towel. We use the
Well, we
silver
use
pearls.
the pearls as the leveling. Yeah.
Yep. And then we use the red Eagles as our final wipe, and they worked out awesome. So,
And if you ever find yourself missing the window, that's 6 to 8 hours, the EXO may be being rejected a tiny bit by the base coating. If that's happening, you want to overwork the EXO without, of course, pushing or marring the surface. But with your applicator, you want to pass over the surface multiple times, more so than you normally would, almost letting it haze up like a wax. At that point, come back and wipe it off with a quality microfiber towel. You know where to get them from, and you should have no problems at all. But don't be afraid to overwork that EXO if you see it being smeary.
Next up, we have functional dock. Levi, go ahead and take this one too.
high spot on my roof. Would I have to take off the whole roof panel by polishing, then recoat with CSL EXO? Where do you stop the recoating? I'm going to say yes. Now, you can polish that spot, but you are going to get a discoloration from that spot, usually based on whatever coating you're putting on. And this is across the board for any coating. So let's say you coated everything, you left a high spot, and you have to polish through. To remove it, you could remove the coating in that spot, but then when you go to wipe over, you've now created a secondary level, like a little ledge. And so you filled the ledge, but there's still a little bit more, and you'll notice it. So I've always recommended if there are cut body lines that you can follow, or if it's something like a roof panel and it's going to drive you nuts and you can see it, maybe the car's low and you're very tall, you might as well just do it. But if it's eye level, you're not going to notice it. So you could just hit that spot, call it good. On SUVs, I had a customer who had that happen. I used a little hybrid, just blasted a couple of water spots that they got on their coated car and recoated those spots. From up a ladder, 6 feet up and looking straight down, then I could see it. But from the ground, and it's an SUV, we're going to notice it. So.
Okay, so this one's for the Gtechniq guys. We got C1 versus CSL. Is there a major difference?
Correct. So that's back to what we talked about in the beginning with the traditional quartz-based product being C1 versus CSL being newer technology and more of a composite. So for car people, guys and girls, I always talk about the difference between fuel injection and carburation, both of which can get you down the road with the same horsepower and the same amount of speed, but there's just certain things that a carburetor is going to be easier or better. There's certain things where fuel injection is going to be easier or better. The one thing that we will say is if you're trying to coat, Dane, I'm going to give you this. What's something weird that you would want to coat? Give me a weird surface.
Let's say an AutoZam AZ1. That's
That
a little
is
car.
strange, Dane.
That is a tiny
is
little
strange.
car.
I mean, I was thinking like granite countertop or like
that,
my stainless
or that.
Yeah. So we always will say C1. It's been around. So C for coating, 1 for the first. So it's been around for coming up on 20 years. It's been reformulated since. We know that it goes on many surfaces very friendly and gives outstanding results. Not saying CSL won't, but if you have a single stage car, for example, we always recommend C1. If we're dealing with a matte or frozen paint job, the first thing we always recommend is C1. You can get CSL and you can use it and it would be great, but we know C1 is going to work better in that aspect.
Okay, no, that's really helpful to know. We've got our Iceland friend writing back here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to add C1, great for your like RVs, trailers. Basically, it's got a little bit more UV resistance to it. So all of your bigger, flatter surfaces where you're going to get more of that UV, hitting it constantly, boats, everything like that, C1 is the go-to all day.
Nice. Okay, so gel coat type applications, it seems to work pretty well there. Okay.
So it became the foundation that we built for ceramic base in the marine line. So we took what we liked with C1 that we knew worked well, and we added to it. Not just by pouring stuff in a bottle, but you get it.
There's a little more to it than that. So our Iceland friend here is back. We've got just a question, just in general. I think it's about product longevity stuff, but they're saying with all the salt and weather differentials, when you're talking about longevity of a product, I imagine obviously you have to can't account for everything, so you got to try, but you got to be reasonable.
Sure. Yep. So I think
it's...
thing is, no, sorry, cut you off. Was that Levi?
Go ahead, buddy.
No, I'm saying if you maintain it, you're going to see the results that we talk about. Now, what does that mean in Iceland with salty roads? You may have to wash it every week, whether it's touchless or not. You may have to get that off sooner. If you don't do anything, then an environment like Iceland is going to hurt the surface. But if you maintain it properly for your environment, you're going to have the results you desire.
Okay. Next up, oh man, seems like I see this word popping up everywhere all the time, constantly.
Never heard of it, Dane.
I can't believe
it.
You know what? It's so crazy. Have you guys heard of this? Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, so we've got Stephen Corey here asking, when will you guys introduce a graphene coating?
So the official answer to that question will be unknown. We have been looking at it from many aspects now for quite some time. About the same time that the courtship of Gtechniq and the Rag Company has been going on. The one thing you'll find with Gtechniq, which is the source of some frustration at times, is we're a little bit slower to market than others because we're doing the testing, the research, the development. We're making sure that we're behind it 100% before we put something out there. So when would be unknown. We're definitely looking at it, but at this point, we haven't seen it a way that we can work it in where we feel as though it's viable.
Let's put it this way: a true graphene coating right now at this point, it's not possible. Like a chemist can't go in the lab and give you a graphene coating. Like, does it have graphene in it? Sure. Just like some ceramics are SiO2 infused and everything else like that. So, that coating, in order for it to be considered a graphene coating, the amount of graphene that you would need to make that coating to be an actual coating, the tint of the color of the graphene, that's something that you would have to, at a chemistry level, figure out. And then B, the amount that you actually would need to make it is like the price of it is insane. So like a price bottle of graphene coating would be astronomical. And like it'd be like, I don't know, $600-$700 for a bottle to coat your car. It'd be insane.
Yeah.
So what
you're saying, Chris, so what you're saying though, right? So let's just say, you could take a ceramic coating, right, or ceramic coating, and you could infuse it with graphene, right? And then you could dye that coating, right? And then you could essentially market it as a graphene coating.
Seems to be the trend these days.
Because it technically has graphene in it, although it may not be it may not have the content of graphene in which you would get the full properties or characteristics of graphene.
Right. Correct.
Yep. At the same time,
my car's called a Jaguar, but it's not actually a cat.
Or a Ford.
And also though too, who has really, I mean, because this is also new and it kind of seems to be a race to who can get the best graphene coating out there, right? You also have to think about who is determining the point at which there is the I guess the required level of graphene within this coating product, right, to make it a substantial difference than a ceramic coating, maybe with just added a small amount of graphene and dye or something to that nature. Because I think that stuff hasn't been established yet either. But I think that right now it seems like everybody's just rushing to be able to use the word in one way, shape, or form because it's kind of been a buzzword,
which unfortunately dilutes the meaning behind it.
Whereas ceramic coatings, it's been 20 years in the making to get them to where they are today, right? With the technology that they have today and the durability that they have today. So I just feel like there's going to be probably a lot of imposter products coming out soon, right, that are just making use of the word, making use of the color, right, dye or whatever they're doing to get the color, and kind of going from there. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
So that's ongoing. We could definitely say that. I've got a few people here like Bearded Hunter just saying what's up, and
dude?
then I've got
Names
Bait
are-
Addict. Oh, of course, saying Levi Bates, the master of shine, and Bait and crew. All right, so we've got Bait following up with a Gtechniq comment. Applied Halo to PPF for the first time. It was such a breeze. Absolutely love it.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
that's pretty common. Pretty common.
Then we've got Paul here. If you make up Breakbuster 10-1 and store in a container so it's ready to go for when I need it, how long could you leave it and still have it be effective? Thanks, guys.
Well, it'll be effective months, year, as long as it's indoors, as long as it doesn't freeze, as long as, there's no issues with the storage of it. Maybe it's got a lid on it. You should be fine.
Yeah, if that container happens
You
to
might
be an
have some
IK sprayer,
separation.
make sure it's not under pressure.
Yeah, you might have some separation, but you can shake it back up. You should be all right. It's an alkaline product, so you shouldn't have much.
Okay.
So
Then we got Bait
next
Addict
one,
again.
Dane.
Yep, up here saying,
Is it
really
necessary, Eric?
Oh, go ahead.
I'll read it. Is it really necessary, Eric, to apply 2 coats of EXO? I've gotten years of solid performance with just 1 coat. Just wondering if it's just to ensure no surfaces are missed.
You pretty much nailed it for the most part. Again, back to Iceland, where it's getting beat up on the lower panels with that heavy, salt and brine. 2 coats, absolutely. If 1 coat's working for you, rock and roll.
There you go. High traffic areas.
All right,
2.
next up, we got Richard Anthony. Take this one.
Oh, he's pulling the hello, everyone. Question for the Gtechniq folks. Any graphene stuff coming? I know you aren't in the business of beating others to market, but I thought I'd ask. Well, Richard, we just covered it.
We
Hopefully
pretty
you're
much
ready.
covered you there, I think. All right. So next up, Bait again.
Yes.
How
How
slick is the
slick?
Gtechniq detailer? Slicker than C2?
It is. I will admit that it is very. What's the word I'm looking for? It's very overlooked, right? It's very underrated in terms of the slickness that product provides. I think the
look at that.
QD is extremely slick. It's very good. It's a very good product. It doesn't smell though, right? There's no scent in the quick detail.
No.
There's no scent.
And
Yeah,
so I slept on it too. I slept on it for over a year because I was just like C2, 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 C2. Loved it. And then I just grabbed a quick bottle because I got a little bit of dust on a truck I was polishing. And I was like, whoa. So, now it is in, it absolutely has its place.
What I would say for the guys who like to wipe their car down a lot is C2v3 with quick detailer. Those 2 together, that gloss combination is pretty killer.
Not at the same time, though.
Yeah, not.
No. Yeah, I would say the QD is just very underrated for a quick detailer, and I think that the quick detailer market is pretty tough and pretty, it's overly saturated, and there's just a ton of QDs out there. I get it. So most people just try to find one that they like the look of, and they like the smell of, and the feeling of the best, and go with it. I think that if you're a guy that doesn't care about scents, or doesn't care about like the color of the liquid within it, and you just want performance, the Gtechniq QD is awesome. I mean, I think it's amazing stuff. I'm very picky about it too. So Rectangle says,
here.
for the Gtechniq folks, what is your way of cleaning Suede?
Very, very simply, tri-clean. Tri-clean and go. If it's hammered,
Tri-clean is kind of the answer for everything.
It's so
It
good,
is.
though. I can't blame you for liking that.
Don't drink it.
So that Detail Factory brush, the nice little one of those with some tri-clean, a little bit of agitation, a little bit of water, that combination, and then wipe it with a clean microfiber at the end. You're gonna get great results with that.
Nice.
Nice. And now we got bait back again. CSL has lasted 3 years with maintenance on my personal vehicle. Just noticing doors are starting to fail, going to repolish and apply CSL, EXO, and Halo on my new PPF. Wow, he's going for the full package.
There you
Nice.
go.
That's great.
C5, looking good.
Just
Four,
make sure
good to
you
go.
buy all that stuff from us and
Yeah.
and have at it.
We got you covered now.
Yeah.
We got Richard back here.
Great question.
You guys
again.
talk a little bit about the W9 water spot remover. How powerful is it? It's quite powerful.
Mhm.
It actually works really well.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Robert did when he went to build W9 was he wanted to make sure that he was going to be very competitive in performance with being coating safe, right? So a very powerful water spot remover, extremely acidic. Back to mine and Levi's days years back when we didn't know all this stuff and we were just washing them down with good old acid. We had to get those results without risking damaging the surface. So from what we've tested, it is by far the safest that is going to go in and remove the salts, the minerals, and the other contaminants found that cause the water spots chemically, to hopefully try to save you from having to polish them off.
Well, that's what caught my eye. We actually used it on my Jag because it's a black car, so you see everything on it. And it got hit with a sprinkler really bad. You could clearly see nasty water spots. One of you guys took W9 over there, just went over it really simply. I forget which towel you were using with it, but you did one pass, and at least 75 to 90% of those water spots, first pass, barely any effort, they were gone.
Yeah.
And gone.
I
Not
would
like,
say-
oh, it's hiding.
yeah.
No, they were gone.
Yeah.
So that was
So
nice.
even if
It's pretty spectacular.
if you get the etch that needs to be polished, absolutely use W9 from the rag company, but use chemical before your polish, because just because you polish off the X does not mean the etch does not mean you're getting those minerals and other problematic substances out of the surface. So if they're that bad, you 100% need to make sure you go through and do chemical and mechanical.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And,
it gets,
oh,
it gets
go ahead.
all the minerals out, but then if it's embedded, that silica that gets left where you see that like that spot, that's what it won't get. So if you have to get that out, you still always want to use the W9 first to get the minerals out before you
Sure.
hit that.
Well, and that was the whole reason we even tried it in the first place, was we knew my car is coated with a very long-term coating on it already. It's got Opticoat Pro Plus on it. So that's why I wanted to try something. Okay, it's a little stronger. You kind of wonder when a coated car, you're like, am I going to go through this? What's going to happen? It was fine. Totally fine.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
no, big fan of that already.
We used it this last week in preparation for the Toyota that we did with CSL and EXO for our video. Gabe took it home from my house. It was fully naked. The car was. And when he got to his house, his neighbor was rinsing his car off and sprayed his truck with the hose. So Gabe rolled in the morning. He's like, passenger side of my truck got hit by and it was just a low garden hose splash. But I just hit that whole panel with W9 and then O&R'd it and then panel wiped it and we were good to go. So it's awesome stuff.
Nice.
All
I
right,
got a new
Details
comment
Auto
for you
Studio.
guys.
G2 in place of cerium oxide. What regimen relative to the G series best end-to-end solution? Thanks. So they're talking about your glass care regimen.
So G4 is our glass polish, and it is not going to remove the damage that a hardcore ceruleum oxide glass compound would remove. It is a very, very effective cleaner, and it will remove very slight marks out of the glass, but it's also very safe for anybody to use where they're going to prep the windshield for G1 or G5, our two glass coatings. G2 is our residue remover for G1. But we recommend G4 in the prep stage of G1 so that we know you're getting the glass that clean and ready to accept the bond of G1.
Okay, excellent. We got Ryan here. He's asking about the marine line. So he wants to know what the, quote, best products are. What are the standouts for you?
Well, so, I mean, we've got, obviously, we came out with two new actual ceramics. They're the base formula and then top formula. So with those 2 new coatings on new boats, you can actually offer, as an installer, you can offer a 3-year guarantee on the product, which is pretty cool.
That bad boy right there.
The biggest thing I would say, honestly, is the top and the base, the ease of application. Again, Gtechniq nailed it. For the boat guys, obviously, when you're coating a boat, boats are huge, and saving yourself any time is money. And so at this point, the boat guys, everybody right now, they're buying it up nonstop. And then we also came out with our ceramic fast coat, which has also been taking off, and we've been selling a ton of that. And then the number 4, I would say, would be the marine interior cleaner. So that one has been doing very well also.
So is that one intended, what types of materials? Because I know there's a lot of like kind of vinyls and stuff for interiors of boats commonly. Any other materials that would be used on, kind of just anything goes?
Yeah, so any of your canvases that you're going to see, it's very effective. It is unreal on vinyl, unreal, which is mostly what you're going to see.
Yeah.
But a lot of the canvases, and then if you get into like any of the cabin cruisers, so on and so forth, you get into the couches and the tables that turn into beds and all that weird stuff.
Right.
We got it covered.
And
Awesome.
it does have the antibacterial killing agent in it still as well. So that helps prevent the mold and mildew buildup on those interior surfaces of the boat.
Which that's huge right there. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
No, excellent. So I know we're getting a little close to time, but they haven't thrown the sign up on me just yet. I'm going to throw at least Bearded Hunter up here as our last question, probably, for this half.
Ooh.
He's asking, actually, you know what? Go ahead, Levi. What you got?
Got a few gnarly hard water spots from my car being under a tree during a Texas rain shower. Car is currently covered in crystal sealant. Got some W9 to try on them. Any tips? No, just wash it, wipe it down with W9, rinse it off, and you're good to go, man. Should be fine. Shouldn't have any issues. And it also shouldn't affect the crystal sealant. So
okay. So I think we're going to go ahead and turn this over to break here for just a little bit. Going to be about 4 to 6 minutes, and we'll catch you when we come back.
All right, bathroom time.
Yes.
Hey guys, Levi for the Rag Company, and I wanted to direct you over to our FAQ channel. Now, our FAQ channel is our way of answering all those questions you had as quickly and efficiently as possible. The FAQ channel is very simple. From whether you're just starting out detailing, you need to learn how to wash a car, or maybe you have a question on what a rinseless wash is, or something as simple as how do I wash my microfiber towels, you'll be able to find it at the Rag Company FAQ channel.
If you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, how long can you store Optimum No Rinse inside of a bucket for?
The difference between an open cell and a closed cell foam pad.
Should I wash my microfiber towels after using a spray sealant? So we're going to be answering that question and more in today's FAQ video.
Well, there you have it. Hopefully now you know a little bit more about the FAQ channel, and if you're looking for it, go to YouTube and type in the Rag Company FAQ and make sure you subscribe so that you'll be aware of whenever a new video comes out. Now, if you didn't see your question answered, feel free to send us an email or leave a comment right there on a video, and we will be sure to add that to our next video. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and can't wait to see you guys there. Thanks for watching.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the promo for the Rag Company Podcast. That's right, I'm Dane Hennen. I'm your host of the Rag Company Podcast, as well as our weekly Q&As that appear on the Rag Company YouTube channel. Now, if you're looking for the podcast, you gotta head over to the Rag Company Podcast YouTube channel. That's right, we've got a few channels, but if you subscribe to them all, you will not miss your Rag Company content, your Rag Company action. I know you love it. That's why you're watching this. So if you're not familiar with it, you should go check it out. We talk about detailing, we talk about cars, we talk about what we did over our weekends. It's just a chance to get to know, the folks at TRC a little bit better. Go to the Rag Company podcast channel, go to the Rag Company YouTube channel for the Q&As, and just in general, enjoy, like a warm blanket. It's friendship. It's just something that you wear over yourself and you say, gee, this is nice. So we really want you to hang out with the Rag Company crew one way or another, be it the podcast or the Q&A. I'm inviting you, and I know Levi and Anthony are right behind the camera saying the same thing. So if you haven't already, make sure you go and subscribe to the Rag Company podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Rag Company YouTube channel, where we do our Q&As. It's just fun. We want to have you around. We want you to submit your comments. Let us know how things are going. We're all hanging out. It's a good time. And we all learn a bit more about detailing and cars in the process. Now, I will say, when it comes to the podcast, we're not just on YouTube. We're also on Stitcher, Spotify, any of your other audio platforms. Make sure you check, because we should be on there. And if we aren't, let us know, and we'll do our best to get on there as well. With all that said, we just want to say thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again.
Hey guys, it's Anthony with the Rag Company, and do you like cars? Do you like washing cars? Do you like watching other people wash cars in an impromptu interview setting? Boy, do we have the show for you, because it's called Wash Wednesday, and it can be seen at the Rag Company YouTube channel, in which I host that show, of all people, believe it or not. So what this show is all about is that we pull in people locally from the car community, as well as travel from the other side of the country to basically team up with YouTubers and other really cool people to wash their cars as well. So it's just a lot of fun. Now what happens is we bring these people on that often don't know how to wash their cars, believe it or not. So we show them new tips, tricks, and techniques to learn how to wash them properly, as well as interview them about their car, how they got into cars, and why they chose maybe that car. And then at the very end, go and take it for a drive, which is really, really cool. It's a really fun experience. The Wash Wednesday series has been around for a couple of years now. We have plenty of episodes coming up, so don't go anywhere. You want to check these things out, as well as a ton of our other channels and other videos that we have on the Rag Company YouTube channel, the FAQ channel, the podcast channel, you name it. There's tons of stuff throughout those channels and those videos. So make sure to check those out as well. But I think Wash Wednesday is going to be great for car enthusiasts and people that like watching other people wash their cars in an impromptu interview setting. It's a lot, but trust me, it works. So head to the Rag Company YouTube channel, check out Wash Wednesday. If there's any cars that you want to see down in the comments, leave them down below. We'll make sure to have those in an upcoming video. All right, catch you later.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back from the break. We are refreshed. We're feeling good. We're ready for another hour. Oh, Eric, you got one lighter in the room. I'm sorry to see that, but it was fun having him on here, so I guess it's just the four of us now. But before we get back, is there any stuff you guys want to talk about before I go back to the questions?
We just
Sounds
really
like a long dead pause. All right.
No, I think the commercials are great, man. Whenever I see those commercials, I'm like, wow. We're like a real company.
I was just thoroughly impressed with the production value of the Wash series video.
Glad
There you go.
like that.
Right?
Well, thanks.
I like
nice.
to
Wash Wednesdays.
That's a big
It's
shout out
hosted
to...
by me. It's my show.
Yeah. Well, Anthony gets credit for being there, of course. But Jimmy, I got to shout out Jimmy for editing those. He's doing a great job picking up the mantle from me, and that's like my baby is those Wash Wednesdays, so I had a hard time giving it up. But he gets them done much faster than I do, so there's that. Any rate, we do have a lot more questions. Richard Wakefield is back here asking about glass coatings. Let me throw it up on the screen here. All right. So
Richard asking, why no glass coatings like G1 and G5 being brought on?
I think that's a question for TRC. Or,
Yeah, that's you guys, but I
yeah,
thought they were.
Yeah.
That's you.
I don't know if we added those yet in the first, just because we haven't had a lot of luck with glass coatings in the past. So for this initial purchase of Gtechniq products, which was quite large, I think we exempted them. Now we did just order Easy Coat, and that is going to be on its way soon as well. So who knows? Maybe the next week we see what stuff does, and we'll possibly add it. But right now we really like, C2v3 on glass is awesome. That Easy Coat stuff is awesome. Bead maker is awesome. So for right now, that's kind of what we're focusing on. We don't want to overload everybody with stuff.
That said,
so
demand is good. Let us know.
Yeah.
People ask. We just might do it. Okay, I've got. Oh, go ahead.
Well, just one thing I tried to get at earlier. So what has been a very interesting journey with TRC, and I don't think a lot of consumers actually know this, and I hope it's not a secret, but when we say, or they say that they try stuff, they're not lying. So it was, I mean, Levi, what has this been? This has been like 2 years now, for the most part.
Yep.
So, it was one of those, I kind of knew how they worked. So it was a different sales move. It was, get to know everybody and gain the trust. And then, hey, try this and check this out and try this. And, it's been a long road to get here. And that's why they are where they are. So, can we sell them on G1 and G5? I think so. But, I would much rather them want it and it be organic.
Yeah, and that's kind of how
fair.
we work. I believe I've got G1 on the Suburban windshield, and it's been fine. It's been working just well, just great. But again, one of those things that we look at, again, we're a company, guys. We look at past performance of other products and in how they sell. And if it's something where we've just never had a lot of luck in, we're just not going to carry it regardless of whose brand it is. It's just something we've never had luck in selling. Now, that doesn't mean we don't want to bring on a product. So like Eric said, we've been trying a lot of stuff, and there was a lot of other stuff we could have brought on that we didn't. We try, and Anthony and I try and pick and choose the stuff that we like the most, and stuff that we've used for a long time so that we know exactly what we're bringing on. And that way you guys know that we're not just taking on any old thing. And to Eric's credit, it's been 2 years to get to the point where we are today with this. So
he's been very patient.
We're super stoked and super excited to get there and to have it all available for sale for you right now. So go on the website, pick it up.
Proof is in the pudding.
All
right. Next up, we got Brian Schwab. All right.
Placing C2v3 on top of EXO. Does that add anything, or will it just renew what's there? I have a big bottle, and I was wondering how much I should use. I'm on black BMW paint. So, Brian, if you're talking about just a big bottle of C2v3, gosh, use it as much as you want, man. As far as I'm concerned, burn through it and then buy some more from the rag company. But Eric, what do you think?
So, absolutely. Here's the split, though. If you love the water behavior and the look of EXO, don't put on C2v3. If you put C2v3 on, it is going to be different because you're going to see the water behavior and the look of C2v3 on EXO. So it's really personal preference. Most people like the idea of sacrificial layers. So if we're worried about EXO, then C2v3 is going to give you that shot. When installing CSL or EXO or C1 or any of the other exterior coatings, and there's a worry of the product getting wet before that window of that 6 to 12 hours, depending on environment, we always recommend C2v3 to be there as a sacrificial layer for a fresh install.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And if you got a big bottle, glass, wheels, trim, underhood, use it. Use it. Your 3 Series Beamer outside, you're going to use 3 to 4 ounces maybe at the most for proper application.
Sound like Anthony knocked over his microphone.
Anthony just got up from his desk and he tripped over. It sounds like just a dozen beer cans or something.
I was like, did we just insult all day?
You know what? If we don't do it, who will? Everybody else likes them. We got to keep them in check. All right. So we got Bait Addict here once again saying, Eric, Do you have a suggested wipe-off time on EXO? Just curious on what the wipe-off should feel like when it's, quote, ready.
Ooh, I don't think it's going to feel much different. It will look different though. So you're gonna see that wet line that looks very clear turn a tiny bit rainbow, and you're gonna see it start to go into a series of lines and dots. Once you start seeing the dots, you're ready to go.
Okay.
Yep.
Simple enough. We got
I
Noah.
was showing Jeff that this week when we were coating the truck. So, all right, Noah Walter, when you guys apply Halo to vinyl wraps, do you take any time to remove the swirls, scratches out of the wrap first? Been looking to do it. Probably going to heat gun or lightly polish the job I'm going to do. So Noah, as a fellow wrap owner, I will tell you that we installed a brand new wrap. We did not polish it, and then we coated it. Now, in over a year, we coated it with Halo. In over a year, I've been running it through a car wash for fun. I've been doing tons of stuff with it just to beat it up and see what I can do and get out of it. I will say that I did get some car wash scratching and things like that in the vinyl. However, I went over just to see if this would work, but I did do the Beadmaker Halo or Uno combo on vinyl. And I was able to polish out, add a little filler to that vinyl, and then wipe it down with the Beadmaker and have the truck look really good. I will say it didn't last nearly as long. It's still on it. But what I did do was strip it, and then I put Easy Coat over the top of the vinyl just to see how long that's going to last on the surface. And that is still holding up very nicely. And so, yes, you can do all those things. They were polishing Chris's Lexus 2 years ago before applying Halo at the Serum Summit.
Yeah,
they were out there polishing it, getting it ready. So yes, you can polish the vinyl to get all the scratches out. I would just say careful on your heat, careful on watching if you haven't polished a fully wrapped car before. Just careful on where you're, if you're putting pressure in certain areas. Vinyl acts very differently than paint. So no pressure whatsoever.
Don't polish out matte or satin vinyl either.
Yeah.
Next up, Mr. K, the mysterious Mr. K again. Why would you dilute C2v3? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Levi. You take this one. I'm going to refill my drink.
Is that for when being used as a drying agent or a different purpose? Eric.
Yeah, so a lot of people use it 1-to-1 just to kind of get a little more out of the bottle, because they're like, well, if it's 6 months, as it is, if I cut it, I'm good. If I lose some of the durability to get more product. Others will use it because they don't want that full strength. I'm a fan 1-to-1 as a drying aid on a lightly damp car. I don't like wiping surfaces down unless there's something with the towel, right? That little bit of lubricity that it adds. So I'm a big fan of that. Plus, if I'm going to do that, and this is why I slept on Quick Detailer for so long, because if I'm going to wipe the car down, I want something to be there that's going to last, quite some time.
Right.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
We've got CJ Burn 27 with a simple response for Anthony there. Just a little consumer advice. Anything from Wall Clipper should make you good to go. Made here in Illinois.
Perfect.
And he proud.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Moving up the line, we've got Alex Dyke asking, I applied G5 on my windscreen and I found that it was smearing when I used the wipers. What else should I try to stop this? I've tried cleaning the glass and wiper blades. What else should I try? Eric, that one's definitely for you.
Yeah, so I would take a look at potentially what is in your washer reservoir. That possibly, if you're using your windshield washer fluid, that maybe it's leaving a tiny bit of a film. If that is not the case, I'm wondering if maybe the G5 was very over applied and you're dealing with a little bit of that world. So I would probably take a little bit of IPA or a very strong glass cleaner and try to see if you can cut it down. But first I was going to say clean your wipers, but you did that already. So I would check what's going on in the wiper reservoir, what fluid you're using. And then if not, I would try to get a decent dilution of IPA to try to cut that down a little bit.
Okay. Next up, we've got Delphine Bez. Always nice to see her in here, asking, hey there, how much would you detail your car, or how much would you detail your car if you almost don't drive it? I've had backache for 6 weeks and haven't touched my paint or interior, but it is still under no sun or dirty rain. Thanks. Okay. Oh, is it?
Maybe
Okay,
hot
it's a
sun?
little broken English. I'm just trying to make sure I got that right there.
So Delphine, I'd probably just say whatever you feel like, honestly. Some of us are all on certain schedules with our cars regardless. I trade between my two all the time, and I'll detail one week, or I'll get them both washed and ready to go in the driveway, and then I will drive one car and not wash it for a month, and the other car will get washed every week. It just depends. So
What about you, Eric? What do you do?
So if I don't drive them, I don't wash them. It bites me in the you know what every now and then, because then if I want to drive something I haven't driven, then I'm stuck washing it because you can't drive it dirty. But yeah, same thing. If it's protected and it's not getting heavily contaminated, you're not doing any damage by letting it live its life.
Okay.
Anthony,
Next up,
as the owner of a vehicle that does not get driven, what's your recommendation?
A few now.
I think he washes it every week just because.
It's
I think he
it's
just does
once
it
a
for
month.
sport.
I wash it once a month to get the dust off.
There you go.
Could just drive it to get the dust off. Add
Doesn't
more in the
work like that,
process. All right. So we got Yoshi here asking if it's recommended that he top C5 with EXO. Now, when I put the C5 on my wheels, I put C2v3 on, but should I have done EXO?
That's
Eric.
personal preference. Just back to the C2v3 on the EXO. I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting EXO on top of C5 whatsoever, but it's complete personal preference.
Okay.
Well, I also think it also depends if it's going to be a sales point to a customer. If you're installing and you're going to install C5, and you have an option where you're like, look, I install it C5 on your wheels, and I put a coat after I coat it, I put C2v3 on. This is the price. Or I can do this, and I can do C5 with an EXO top coat. This is the next price. It may just be an extra upsell for a lot of folks. In Dane's case, he did that at his kitchen table at his house because those are his personal wheels. And he just took a bottle of C5 home that we had used to make a video and used that and a bottle of C2v3. If I would have given him a bottle of EXO and said, okay, and now when you're done, put this on, he would have done that too. So it's just, in that instance, it was what I gave him is what he put on. But
yeah, I applied the C5 to the wheels about 10 o'clock at night, and then the following morning around, I'd say 7 a.m., 8 a.m., I put on the C2v3. So I gave it some time in between, but I just made sure I had it all clean, dust-free area. Just try to do it as best I could. But it looks great.
Kitchen tables are clean.
It's not looking weird and spotty or anything, so apparently even I can do it right, so that's a plus.
Nice.
And we got Hans dropping into the comments. Miss this guy. Saying, whoop, whoop, Stroopwafel King is here.
Yeah, he's been teasing those all week long, by the way. So,
oh, man.
I don't know what we're going to do about it.
We got Bait back in the comments here saying, I've always applied EXO after CSL, never waiting since it takes me a couple hours to coat with CSL with the summer temperatures. I hope that's okay. What say you, Eric?
No problem. Good to go.
All right.
Per the instructions, once you finish CSL, go right to EXO. It is a little controversial with some installers, but the big guy says it's good to go. So if that's how you like it, let it go.
Okay.
There you go.
Speaking of controversial, Richard, just stirring up the pot here. Eric, I want you to respond to this one. What would you guys say to those that claim C1, C4, and C5 are all the same thing?
Prove it. I mean,
there you go.
It's hard after
right
a while,
answer
man.
right there.
Yeah.
The right answer there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got.
I mean, for every time I hear that, I hear someone talk about how they had an experience with it being completely different. So, I don't know. I use C5 on my wheels. I grab C4 for trim, and if I want to go a little old school, I crack open C1 for the paint. It's just,
There you go.
it yeah, prove it.
Okay. And then we got Delphine Bez here, once again, following up saying, would you say your citrus wash is harder to rinse than your G-Wash or other shampoos? I had that impression.
No, I actually find both shampoos very, very, very easy to rinse, even when used terribly wrong. So like people love G-Wash in a foam cannon, and they love our W4 in a bucket for some reason in the U.S. And it rinses off no problem.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it's like clinging.
Yeah, I've been using W4 for both, and foam cannon and bucket at home, and I enjoy it. I really like that soap. I think it's good. I think it's good in a bucket too, but I haven't played with G-Wash enough yet. So
okay,
you'll get there.
Yeah.
Now we got Hans asking the real questions.
Zoom in on Dane, please. I can clearly see his Viking beard.
Well, I'm working on it. We're getting there. We're not quite there yet.
I got a comb for you, Dane, if you need.
Yeah, I might have to actually start going to a barber and get it done proper. Or talk to you about the beard struggle, or so I've heard.
So you can go down to the Beard Struggle and pick up some of these great beard care products. Dylan Von Kleist and myself are both brand ambassador Vikings for the Beard Struggle. So use code Levi, get 15% off.
And here you thought it was going to be a Gtechniq show.
Right? Richard Wakefield.
Really,
next one.
Gtechniq can't grow a beard in the U.S.
Yeah. So. Oh. No. Well, we got Richard here. Levi, go ahead and take him.
What's your opinion on the Rupes UNO Protect plus C2v3 combo? I've been using it on customers' cars. So far, it's awesome. That's great, Richard, because it is an awesome combo and it works just as well. The difference between the bead maker and the C2v3 is the C2v3 is going to get you longer life from that sealant. So it's pretty sweet stuff.
We were lucky enough. We trained with Rupes in Denver. I think it was about this time last year, which feels like 4 years ago. And they actually gave us a little teaser. We played with it with Panel Wipe and C2 and even EXO. Phenomenal product. I'm glad you're using it like that. I'm glad, Levi, you shot the video with Beadmaker. We got to. Not everything needs a 20-hour paint correction and a long-term coating. There's a lot of money to be made out there getting to the express level, but keeping the quality to what we're used to. So absolute killer combo.
And as you guys, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but Eric used to have his own detail shop. And he knows from the instance of being a professional detailer and having, a price point to reach for certain customers, that is a really good product to be able to do for your customers. That's one of those things. If you're not doing it, you're leaving money on the table. So,
100%.
All right, Matt Gibb from Australia. Morning, guys. Gtechniq approved applicator still today. Starting using it the first year the brand arrived on the market. Permanon Gold or Aircraft is my preferred spray. There you go.
Must be something local to him there. He's he's like the biggest detailing nerd we know. He's awesome.
You got more knowledge on the industry, doing it 30 years, and yeah.
We got Umberto here. Anthony, why don't you get him?
Umberto says, does Gtechniq have products for Alcantara?
He's about to hold it up, I think. It's
wow. No, it's Smart Fabric, Dave.
Oh, Smart Fabric. My brain is like fried. Sorry.
Perfect.
For those listening. Okay, so we've got Functional Dock. I'll throw them up on the screen here.
If you have CSL with EXO, would you go to retop with EXO? What would you do to prepare for another layer of EXO? Wash, iron, removal, panel wipe, then apply? I would say yes.
Nailed it.
Perfect. All right, next one, Dane.
You got it. We got Ian
Musgrove.
Here.
Hey guys, is Optimum Hyper Polish with the Rupes yellow foam pad enough to remove WOWO's crystal sealant, or would I need something more aggressive? It should remove it, in theory. Yes, should be enough. So if not, bump up to change your pad. Go with a little more aggressive pad. So Matt Gibbs says he's sorry. It's the late afternoon over there. Damn USA Australian timeline. Fine, Matt. Don't worry about it.
Compliments to Eric for his all-day Anthony ventriloquist act. Very nice. Thank you, future president.
We have worked very long and hard on that.
It doesn't happen overnight, I can tell you that much.
Man,
Kirby
there's
Thompson.
so many here.
Levi?
Kirby Thompson, hello, TRC and Gtechniq. Halo is excellent on my PPF. That's awesome, Kirby. I'm glad you were using it, man. That's right.
And then he follows it up by immediately saying he's going to leave.
Gotta leave. Handle project later. See you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, next one
Bait
is
Addict.
Bait Addict. Since both Gtechniq and TRC are here, I'm trying to find out where to use C2v3 when bead maker is being used on a topper, as a topper on a coated vehicle that has CSL plus EXO for personal use and customers. So I use C2v3 and I sell it as a sealant. Like I literally sell it as a paint sealant for folks. Bead maker I love using. I used bead maker this morning. Used the blue stuff on a car. I did an Uno bead maker version. But this car was used to coming to see me every 6 months, so it's not an issue. And it's silver. But on a car that I probably wouldn't be seeing for, I actually see these cars every 6 weeks or so, actually, not 6 months. But if it was a car that I was seeing every 6 months or a year, I would sell them on C2v3.
Sure. Yeah,
Now,
it's kind of an either or scenario.
Whichever one you want, dude. Seriously, whichever one you want to use. There's no wrong way. Play with them. Use them. So.
Scoop Master.
Best way to store Gtechniq's coatings after use and when new? Fridge, dark place. Eric.
Great question. So we'll hit you with the facts. The quartz-based products, so the C's, your C1, your C4, your C5s, once you crack them, they're good for months. We're talking 6+ months once you crack them. They're fine. When you open them up again, you're going to have those little crystals that are formed. Just make sure they don't get on your applicator or towel. No problem. CSL, little different. CSL, once cracked, it comes with a pipette. So make sure you're not storing it with the pipette. Make sure you're storing it with the cap on. Other little trick, the pipette has a ring on it, as does the cap. So if you get both of those rings under the cap, it's not going to seal right. So do not store it with both rings and do not store it with the pipette. And you're going to get 3 to 4 months, give or take. But CSL will get a tiny bit cloudy. If you shake it and it gets less cloudy, you're still good to use.
Okay.
EXO, right in the middle, give or take. EXO's not going to crystallize the way that C1, C4, or C5 will. And it's not going to get a little cloudy like CSL because it's kind of right in the middle. So give or take 3 to 6 months, depending. But again, don't leave them with your favorite house plant in the sun on your windowsill. And you don't have to put them in the fridge, but some people do. So, just keep it out of the extremes. Don't let it get super hot. Don't let it get super cold.
Okay. And looks like Scoop's got a few follow-ups here. I believe, if I recall correctly, Scoop Master is based in Puerto Rico. I want to say that's what they're out of. So that gives you a sense of the conditions they're in. So go ahead and read that one, guys.
CSL alone not repelling water after a year. Best way to bring back the sheeting or beading.
Yep. So W5 and W6. So usually if the coating's applied properly and you're not seeing the results that you're looking for, some will say the coating is clogged. I will say it is contaminated. So if you check out our wash guide, which is available if you just Google Gtechniq wash guide, it's actually printed behind me on the wall here for our trainings. That's going to walk you through decontaminating a potentially contaminated coated car. The W5 citrus all-purpose and W6 iron remover for sure.
Okay, excellent. And last one from Scoop Master here for a minute. There we go. Anthony, you want to get this one?
Got it. Hey, WOWO showstopper over CSL and EXO. Go or no go? Yeah, Do it. No issues.
Yeah, Showstopper's not going to last that long. So
it's
you're
not
maybe
meant
going to get
to.
a week at the most out of Showstopper. Maybe. That's pushing it.
It's literally you go to a show or something, use it right
Yeah.
before that. That's when you want to have it on
we
there.
say it's about a 24 to 48 hour product. So
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, we got Stephen Yoon
Stephen
here.
Yoon. Go for it, Dane.
Oh, I was going to say, what's up, everyone? General question. I'm having a problem with customers not maintaining their cars properly, leading to premature coating failure. Favorite fail-safe methods for maintenance? Question mark. Why don't we go around the horn, starting with Levi, then Eric, then Anthony?
What kind of failure are you seeing with your coatings? That's the real question, because it could be application error. I had a guy when we were first starting becoming an OptiCode installer. We went up to Seattle and met with him, and he was one of the other installers up there, and he wasn't using the little foam applicator. Remember, Eric, that Optimum used to send with their syringes? This guy would take the blue
little loop on it.
Yep, and he wasn't using that. What he was doing was he would take a one of the blue Scott's blue paper towels that have a petroleum distillate in it, and he was using those to apply his coatings because he thought that the sponge was going to scratch the paint. So he used a blue cellulose towel with a lot of petroleum distillate in it, and that was there because it was designed to remove oil from your hands. That's what those towels were for. He thought it was super soft, so that's why he wanted to wipe the car down with it. So he was putting the coating on that, and then he would apply the coating to the car. Then he had an issue. That was one of his questions, is I have customers that come back after 3 months and the coating's not on their car, and I don't know what's going on. I think your coating's bad. And then he showed us how he applies it using one of those blue towels that he just happened to have in his truck. So it may be your installation. That's the first thing. Improper prep. That's the first thing. Second thing could be, are you teaching your customers what they can do and not do with it? That's probably my second go-to. And then third, relook at what you're teaching your customers on how to care for it. Are you looking at failure from the sense of, ooh, it's got scratches in it? Well, are you selling it as a scratch-proof product? Because it's not, and none of them are. Or is it failing because, the customer is parking it under water, under sprinklers, and it's getting water spots on it, and you're selling it as it'll prevent water spots? Like, find out what it is that exactly that you're, having the issue with. And Stephen, you can email me at levi@theragcompany.com. I'd love to see what you're doing. So, okay. Eric.
Cool. So you nailed a bunch of what I was going to say. I will also be the tough guy in the room for a second. Sorry, Anthony. And you literally just don't sell those people coatings.
There you go.
Like just fact. So we love them. You love them. It does not mean that everyone's going to love them, need them, want them, desire them. Find out what works in your business where you're going to get similar or more money, giving them a better product for what they're looking for. Case in point, you don't see a lot of white carpet in houses. Because if you're going to buy white carpet and expect it to look as good as dark gray carpet, you are going to hate your life. So really gauge your customer and see what they desire, see how they're living, how their car is living, and take it from there.
Yeah, 80s supercar interiors were a nightmare.
But they came with slippers.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yep. Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony.
Any expectations?
For coatings?
Well,
So
for a guy
basically
selling a coating to a customer
Yeah.
and having premature failure.
Well, I mean, like I'm right there along with you guys in terms of basically, if not everybody is going to do what it takes to maintain a coating, and it's also whenever I've explained this to even guys that are really into cars and really care about their cars, and I say, hey, you need to buy this, this, and this to maintain this, they say, okay, cool. Yeah, write me a list. I'll get that stuff. And 6 months later, they hit me up. Hey, I never got around to buying that stuff. I've just been washing it, with this stuff.
Driving it through a tunnel a few times every
or,
week.
Or whichever way. And they say, yeah, because it's not really doing the same thing anymore. Maybe you're going to have to come look at it. I'm like, dude, I told you this is the stuff that you need to buy to maintain this. And you need to stay up on it because these things aren't bulletproof like you think they are, right? And so, one guy I do his cars for, and he has some really nice cars. And he says, hey, I had a bird dropping sit on the car for roughly a month. And now I have an etching in there. Why did that happen? I thought the coating was supposed to protect from that. And I said, well, yes and no. For a month in the sun, baking in the summertime, no, it's not going to protect from that. But, if it was a week, couple weeks, and you finally got to it, yeah, most likely. But it's setting the expectations of what people can do to maintain it, and then asking customers questions and saying, hey, do you think you have what it takes to maintain this if you choose to go down this route? And they might agree to it at that time, but you educate them further, explain further. And if you give them all the details, they may start to think, well, maybe this isn't what I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got next up here, Scoop Master, once again, just asking, CSL or EXO V4 over black plastics, good or not good?
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, yeah.
Simple.
C4, better. Way less chance of any maybe issue, but if it's clean and ready to go, you got it, do it.
Okay. He might be asking that like he already has those ones and he's just looking for another use for them. Maybe.
Yep. Don't throw it out.
Yeah. Don't throw it away. Don't do that. Stephen Yoon here. Levi, go ahead and get this one.
Or I guess, what can I ask my customers to do? Seems like most people aren't down to put in time for a 2-bucket wash, nor do they have the correct equipment. So, Stephen, that's where maintenance washes come into play. What I always did was I would schedule a customer for a coating, then I would schedule them for a 1-month first wash. So usually in that 3 to 4 week period after the coating, and I would say, please do not wash the car. The first wash is on us. I'd like you to come in here and I will show you what it takes to wash your car. 2 things came out of that. Either they saw that, one, they could do it. It wasn't as hard as it seemed, and they could buy some product from me, and they were good to go. The other thing that came out was they saw it and said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I would then sell them and go, look, if you want, here's some packages we can sell you. This is the wash. You can come in once a month if you like and have us go through it and wash it. Yeah. Or you can buy, I'd sell them in books of 6 or 12. And I'd let the customers use it to their discretion. And I would package it that way. And so maybe my hand washes were $50, and you'd sell them 6 of them. And it was a good chance because not only did I make money on the detail, but then I either sold them product to care for the car themselves and I taught them, or I sold them a book of 6 or 12 washes, maintenance washes, in which they would just come and get their cars washed from us. And that was a very easy moneymaker. And usually they would get the first 6 done, or they get the first 3 in. They'd use it on one of their cars. They'd bring it in. They'd be like, man, I really want to get that coating on this one. And then we'd coat that one. And then they'd come back and they'd buy more. It worked out very simply and easily for those folks that really wanted to make the investment. So what do you think, Eric?
Same thing. I just had the conversation this morning actually with a very high-end coating shop that didn't not do a lot of washing before other than prepping for selling the coating. They used their first bottle of Easy Coat and the whole world for them changed, because now they're like, wow, this is giving a customer an option that they never really had before in their shop.
Yep.
So it was pretty much $2,000 or no dollars. And there's a lot more people who will spend $300 to $500 than there is who will spend $2,000. So he's actually coming in. We're having lunch tomorrow, and we're going to discuss looking at him adding a few staff members and some equipment in order to take care of the cars. Because back when we were doing 5, 6, 7 coatings a month, and we were rarely ever seeing those cars again. We thought we were, a certain way. And not that it's not a good business, it's a very difficult, scalable business. So
Correct.
when it's time to maintain them, that's why there's a car wash in every corner, and they still build a new one on the other corner. So
Yeah, doesn't seem to stop them. All right, so we got Scoopmaster here asking best Gtechniq coating for piano black B pillars and trim. Go.
Ooh. So to answer your question directly, CSL. To answer your question in a macro world, paint protection film. Those things scratch. Those things scratch if you look at them. So by coating it, they're going to scratch less. But if you're looking to keep them perfect, protection film, and then a coating on top, 100%.
Yeah, my C-Max had those piano ones. They were a nightmare to try and keep looking anyway half decent. The Volvo had like the flat gray black plastic ones, looked a million times better because it just kind of looked faded from the outset. That's just how it stayed. So definitely. Let's see. We've got another Scoopmaster here. 2 coats of EXO, obligatory or optional?
Personal preference. We always say 2. The instructions are 2. That's just to cover a few bases. But if one works, like the gentleman earlier, rock on.
Okay. Then we got Richard here asking for Levi and Anthony. Anthony, why don't you go ahead and read this one?
Okay. Levi and Anthony, how do you like matte dash and leather guard? Any comparison between leather guard and CarPro leather? So I haven't used CarPro leather, to be honest, but leather guard, pretty dang easy to apply, man. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. That and matte dash are really straightforward. I like matte dash. I actually like the sprayer that it comes in, especially in that smaller size, because when it comes to spraying your dash, you don't need a whole lot of product, right? I spray a couple sprays into the towel, spray a spray or two onto a big open area where there's not many vents or anything like that, and then I kind of work it in, and I find that it works in really, really easy. In terms of leather guard, using an edgeless 365, spray a couple sprays in the towel, wipe it into the leather, flip it, wipe it off, and I'm good to go. And so I like the feel that leather guard leaves behind. I think it's very neutral feeling, but it's not greasy. It's not anything like that. But you can definitely tell there's something there for sure.
Yeah. I like the small bottles because I can put them in my center console and have some small bottles with a couple towels, especially in this day and age where we're all hand sanitizing, and you get out of a store, you get in your car, you squirt some hand sanitizer on, and then you grab your steering wheel. And for those of you with leather steering wheels, you've now just put alcohol all over your hands, rubbing alcohol onto that leather. So what I like is I hand sanitize my hands, I grab my bottle of little leather guard, spray it on I've got a little towel there in the center console, spray it on there, wipe my steering wheel with it. That way my steering wheel's clean, because some of those products also are the AB version, so they've got the bio coat on them. So it helps. It's an antimicrobial and antibacterial that's on there. And so it just helps clean, keeps it clean, and protects it at the same time, because that's been the issue. A lot of us, as detailers, have started to figure out are the people that are over hand sanitizing their hands, grabbing their surfaces, or they're using disinfecting wipes to clean all their interior parts of their vehicle. You've got customers that are starting to start damaging the plastics and leather in their vehicle because of the chemicals. And that's one of the neat things about those smaller bottles. So
next up, we've got Scoop Master. Panel wipes swell the paint. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dane. You got it. You read it.
Panel wipes swell the paint on side mirrors and side skirts of a black Honda Civic. Works good on the paint itself. Why does that happen? Very scary situation, by the way. Okay, Eric, go ahead and grab that one.
Yeah, so panel wipe, nicknamed Truth Serum. It is a no joke. It is a no joke product. It is built to remove oils and other contaminants that are in the paint that no other coating prep product comes close to removing. So I am not a painter or a paint company, so I can't really technically answer what would make the same paint swell that was on plastic as it was on metal. We do hear from time to time that people do see this swelling happen from the product, and that again, that just comes down to the fact that it is there. It's built. It's a solvent, so it just comes with the nature of the product. We also hear people say that it mars the paint. Well, we're with the rag company right now, and I think that they can tell you that if you're using the right microfiber towel the right way, you cannot make a liquid mar paint. So just a little icing on that one. But yeah, no, it has it will if the surface is weak, panel wipe will find it.
It reveals all.
It does. It does.
There you go.
Gonna have to go to the people above me though to answer it 100%, and I will.
There you go.
Oh,
All right.
Now we got
morning,
1 a.m.
right here. Mr. Gtechniq himself. Juan saying, "Hey guys, good to see y'all. When will Dane appear on a TRC FAQ video? Will it ever happen? I wonder."
Keep wondering.
Oh, Dane, calling you out.
JW Media,
Juan, when you
pop it
come up
in.
here from Idaho Falls, then you can
Yeah,
we'll
talk
do
about it.
Just that day, we'll actually have Dane film some FAQs when you're here hanging out with us.
I'll
So
have no
hope
choice.
the move is all done. Hope you're in the new house. Congrats. And all right. So Jimmy,
Good old
there's
Jimmy.
no problem, Dane.
He was
Thumbs
responding
up.
because I was complimenting him about editing Wash Wednesdays. He does a great job
Yeah,
with them.
yeah.
So JW Media, he's the man. All right, Richard Powell here. There we go.
Hi guys, listening here in the UK as usual. Thank you for hosting the podcast. You're welcome, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Followed by Matthew Gibb.
Anthony, you want to do this one?
Yes, I will. So it says Serum Ultra works great in Windows. Not ideal, but I had it all the time and thought, bugger, I'll try it. Nice. Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got Danny Israel here.
Who says, I saw Taylor Ray was asking how to clean white aluminum gooseneck enclosed race trailer. Thoughts? Can he then coat it with a Gtechniq hose end coating? So clean his white aluminum gooseneck enclosed race trailer. I don't see why you couldn't use easy coat on it. I don't see why you couldn't use easy coat.
Emerald paint on that.
Yeah, I would just follow up with a towel to make sure you wipe down any spots or anything that's left over.
Okay.
What else we got? We got Bait Addict says if C2 will alter the behavior of CSL EXO, would QD do the same? I noticed Beadmaker actually kept EXO properties the same, enhanced. I tested a specific door of a coated vehicle. So I think QD, right, with being a traditional quick detailer, I don't think it's a long-term quick detailer with protective properties. I think it's going to be more of like your baseline, maybe a week of some type of different water behavior. But other than that, though, I mean, I don't think that it's going to alter it. And if it does alter it, I don't think it would be for a long enough time for you to notice.
Okay. Then we got Scoop Master here.
Says, I've been using Gtechniq for 2 years and I love it. How can I become a CSL Ultra installer without having to purchase 4 units monthly? I live in a 100 by 35 mile island, so 4 coatings a month is too much. So I will say, though, that he's not wrong being in Puerto Rico. However, I will say the detailing industry in Puerto Rico is very strong. So, Victor, I don't know what, really the only thing you'd be getting, what are the benefits of becoming an installer compared to just buying products from the rag company? Gets you into CSU?
Is that a question towards me?
Yeah, that's a question towards you, Eric.
So getting involved in the Gtechniq accredited network is going to have them have the ability to access the guarantees for Ultra, CSL, and C1. So some people really like that. Of course, you get access to Ultra, which is what the gentleman from Australia was speaking about. That's a protected product. In the US, so is it S Coop Master or Scoop Master?
It's S Coop Master because he's a big fan of Hyundais. We just call him Scoop for fun.
Okay. So, he would fall under the marketing program that is in the US. And what I can say, S Coop, is go on our website at the bottom in the center, apply for accreditation, and have a chat with our US accredited network manager, Ryan, and we'll see if it's a fit for you.
Okay.
There you go.
Excellent. And I've got one here from Super Chevy. Unfortunately, he doesn't specify what is specifically being referenced to here. So if he could fill that in
He
longer
says it
comment.
later in another. So his whole comment actually says, "Can you use PNS on my truck after I use this stuff?" So
And then he never seems
and then he
to.
doesn't reply back. So I don't know what you're talking about, but yes, you can use lots of PNS products on your truck.
Yes. Then we got Andy S.
Andy
here.
S. Which coating should I use for the Jeep Wrangler plastic fender flares?
Easy.
Yeah, go for it.
C4. However, if you've used every other black plastic restorer, rejuvenator, and all of that other stuff, you need to make sure that they are extremely, extremely clean and ready to accept C4. If not, it could make a mess and you may hate your life for a weekend.
Okay, good to know. All right.
Noted. We got Bait Addict here.
He says, "Oh, the car I did recently with CSL and EXO and Halo might have to be driven tomorrow. It's only been curing for 5 days. Is that enough time, or will it compromise the coating's durability?"
Wow.
Customer is saying he needs to drive it and it's going to rain.
You're good to see rain after, say, even 6 hours, worst case. If you're worried about that, throw some C2v3 on top of it. Holding cars for 5 days, absolutely not necessary. And the only thing we say is, don't get it wet for that first, just say 6 to 12 hours, depending on temperature. And no chemical for 7 days. So no chemical for 7 days, but no water. So they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Good.
If they're just driving it, they won't have a problem. Just don't run it through a car wash.
Yeah.
We got Mike B here saying something that I'm very proud of because I love the FAQ channel and I worked on this guy. So that's perfect. Just wanted to say thank you for the FAQ channel. I was gonna ask about a coating on a new exhaust and then magically the video came out. So thank you, Mike. Glad that worked for you. And for those who don't know, I'm going to plug the Rag Company FAQ channel. Make sure you go subscribe to it if you haven't already. If you're watching this, you probably know about it. But if you're new here and you're watching this and you like getting answers to questions, the FAQ channel is your friend. And you should definitely subscribe to it because you never know what good stuff's going to come out next. Leave a comment and we may make a video about your question in the comments. Okay. Then I've got a few here. Somebody stirring the pot here. I'll throw it up and I'll let Eric respond to it. I have a feeling I know how these things go, but go ahead.
So is it true that the importer of Gtechniq in Iceland says that every other coating but Gtechniq is trash and does not work at all? Magnus B. Gunmanson. I don't...
I don't know how to answer that.
Yeah.
That's just from a functional standpoint. Everybody knows
what
this
he's
stuff
saying.
is just don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what we don't really. I mean, I don't know this particular person. I don't know what he's saying, and if he is, I don't think that reflects Gtechniq, and I think that just reflects.
He did remove his. Just so you know, he did remove his comments from the live chat.
Okay.
So,
okay. Richard Wakefield says, "I know that that it isn't true. Gtechniq is great, but I've used many other coatings from other companies with great results." Yeah, there's trust me, guys. There's a lot of other great coatings out there.
It's a big world out there, guys.
Brian Schwab says, "I've been mixing O&R into my G-Wash and it helps the foam stick to the car." Cool.
Okay, we got the mysterious Mr. K again.
What Gtech product to coat headlights and roughly how long would it last?
Ooh, good question. So the marine base and top is going to give you your best. Bless you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Is going to give you your best,
just in case.
Yep, your best UV, right? And how long is it going to last? It really depends on when that plastic was going to fail again. So if that plastic is so far gone that it's going to oxidize and it's going to fail in 2 weeks, it's going to fail in longer than 2 weeks. But, so it's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It's a better option to, respraying the lights or using a film or something. But it's difficult to put a durability on it when you don't know when that white's going to fail again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to power through these last few because we only got about 5 minutes before stuff wraps up, and I got a whole page of them. So, guys, run away with it, starting with Levi. I know he can nail quite a few of these.
All right. So, Alex Dyke, what would you recommend as a strong window cleaner? I've got a bit of Angel Wax Vision. Would that work? Sure. Also, what was Glass Cleaner works great. And Gtechniq's Glass Cleaner is also awesome and actually stronger than the Woos, in case you're wondering. Super Chevy. What? Sorry.
I love G6. Another one I slept on. And
Fly like a
Blowing
G6. Does Gtechniq play with PNS products good like I use Gtech then PNS? Yes. They play pretty well together.
I wanted to give him a chance to go ahead and get his question out since he cleared it up.
Tonzors. Hey, gang, what's the best storage method for the UBS? Bucket of O&R? Also, can someone only wash in a few cars a month? Can they let it dry out after every use? Yes, the UBS, you can store it dry if you like. It doesn't need to be sleeping in water like the old BRS. So, yes, if you want to leave it in O&R, you're more welcome to do that too. It's not going to hurt it. Magnus, back at it, says here in Iceland, since Gtechniq has been here, the importer claims that there are no products that come close to Gtechniq in any aspect. Is this what Gtechniq HQ says too, or is he just an arrogant man? Sounds like he's just an arrogant man. I'm going to say that a lot of folks have different sales tactics, and I doubt it reflects on what Gtechniq says, because I know Gtechniq North America personally for quite some time here, and he's been a good friend, and he doesn't talk like that. So
no,
that's probably just Iceland. Sorry, man. Bait Addict, cool. What should I do then, Levi, since I have lowest crystal sealant being the upsell? I thought it lasted longer than C2, so I never offered it as a standalone sealant after a decon. So yes, in a way, if you're looking at paint sealants, you've got bead maker, you've got C2v3, and then you've got crystal sealant. So you can build those however you want. My question was in regards to someone who's only selling in bead maker, and how would they sell C2v3? So you're already using bead maker and crystal, so C2v3 would fit in the middle, and that just depends on the customer. Now, what you're doing is over-delivering by giving them something that's going to last them for a very long time, which is a good thing. But you can always have different options, and whatever works for you. Bait Addict, back at it. Also, I won't run into an issue with having too many layers if I swap between C2 and bead maker on top of CSL EXO. You might, and the bead maker will let you know if you do. Mike B, what product would you recommend to coat a textured hard tri-folding tonneau cover? I beat the crap out of my truck between driving on the Ocean Beach and Boston Windows.
C1.
So did you say Boston Windows? Like you said it with a Boston accent? You did. I like that.
Yeah.
Good touch.
And then Stephen Yoon says he'll email me, so that'll be great, and I'll share it with Eric and stuff so he can see. Brian Schwab, C2v3, will there be a better version of this in the works that is as easy as bead maker? Will Gtechniq create a drying aid that's designed to work on coatings? I assume.
They'll be happy.
Yeah, you'll be seeing. Yeah, there's something in the market always. There's always stuff. People always have cards up their sleeves. Yeah. You never know.
You can't throw it all out there.
Bait Addict. Yeah, Bait Addict. Yep, I spent a lot of. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Eric.
In the meantime, for that drying aid to scratch that itch, give Easy Coat a whirl.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. All right. Bait Addict. Yep, I spent a lot of time actually talking people out of coating since they've been given the wrong information. They're told it's scratch proof in the last 5 years without having to wash the car. Watched the Wash Wednesday and got nervous about you guys using the liquidator with C2. Forgot to email Anthony about how to prevent these drying towels from becoming toast after using it with sealant. I just teach people how to use O&R to maintain their vehicles. A lot easier than teaching them how the 2-bucket method, and they're thrilled with how easy it is. Super efficient, doesn't affect CSL and EXO. And then Steven says, fair enough, had no issues on my personal cars. Good point on the carpet analogy. But back to Bait Addict. I wanted to end up teaching people in my office about it. People who don't even care about their cars and now doing weekly, bi-weekly washes with O&R, Big Red Sponge and Bead Maker. It's cheaper than a tunnel wash. Results are 100% better too. And in that same vein, you can teach folks about C2v3, which is, I feel, is much easier to install than crystal sealant. Right? Anthony, you agree?
Yeah. It is.
Now, I was going to say here, I know we're rolling up here at the end of the second hour, but I do want to give these people who already left their comments a chance to get answered. So we are actually going to answer all these before we go. So don't worry, guys. We're going to get the ones that are currently on the screen, and then we will continue.
Okay, you want me to
Dane,
keep
have you
powering,
seen how many
Dane?
are
Yeah,
on the
go ahead.
screen?
We got Kevin Rodriguez.
There's a lot.
Hi. Kevin Rodriguez, I just had an interview for a big detailing shop. I'm still leery to accept a job offer since I've only detailed on the side. What are the pros and cons of working for someone who's working on your own? Experience. You will learn a lot about detailing, and you'll probably learn some tips and tricks that if they do certain things wrong, you can show them your way, or they can teach you a way that you probably never even thought of, and you will be a much faster, better detailer because of it. I had lots of guys that showed up that were personal detailers at their home cars, and then they wanted to learn how to detail, and they were blown away at the efficiencies that were in my shop. They never thought that was possible, and then they started using them, and that's how they do their stuff now. So, Eric, do you agree?
Agree.
All right. Rectangle. Have you ever seen someone apply a coating without polishing? Yes, lots of times. There's a lot of people that do that still. It sucks, but that's how it is. Richard Wakefield back. Oh, geez, talking about panel wipe truth serum. I picked up a bottle from a local store and it leaked onto my black leather. Yikes, that was bad. This stuff is serious business. Yeah, get in touch with our friends at Color Lock, and you may need to get that fixed. Vigor Hotto Detailing. Yo, peeps, so I'm renting a shop space now. We saw that, dude. Congrats. The floors are not level and I don't have money to fix them. Any ideas to be able to lift vehicles so that I can do wheels off? Details. Race ramps.
Yes.
Pick up a set of race ramps.
Easy.
At least to get the car off the ground. And then if you're going to jack it up, you're going to need jack stands and all that stuff anyway. Yeah. Or get the independent ones or whatever. I do have customers asking for the service. Joe, I just use a jack stand and jacks for a long. I didn't have a big enough need to bring that on. Richard Wakefield, Scoop Master Distributors. There's one in Orlando I've been talking to. Rectangle, when you buy a clay towel, I know a great lubricant to use with its Optimum Synergy products. How it'll work with C2v3 or Bead Maker. Seeing those products are super slick as well. I know a great lubricant to use with it is Optimum Synergy, but how? Oh, so he's wondering if he could use C2v3 or Bead Maker with the clay towel. Bead Maker, yes. I don't think it works as well though.
So yeah, I've never honestly thought about it.
C2v3, but yeah, I just use O&R, clay it, hit it with C2v3, and you're done.
Big fan of claying with a towel with W6, so you're getting a chemical and a mechanical decontamination in the same step.
All in one. Okay.
Nice.
Then we got
Bait Addict. Great, thanks. The car was only held for a day. He's been driving it since Sunday. If he gets big bug guts on the front end, should it be left until after a week? I'm sure it's fine, since it's quite hot and sunny most of these days. I think spot treating with O&R would be fine. I also just concerned with premature water spots within the 7 days, but I'm assuming he's good to go? Question mark.
Good to go.
Okay. And Chris, 48559, just ordered some Cosmic Spritz. Any opinions on this or other PA products? Don't know what the product line is.
Fortunately, don't know those ones. Now, that is all the comments that were there when I made my earlier statement. However, we'll finish up with Functional Doc here with a very simple one I want Eric to be able to answer. There you go.
What is Easy Coat?
So Easy Coat is our hose on, hose off 3-month ceramic spray sealant that is really changing the way people do things. It's going to take care of your paint, your glass, your wheels, and your trim. And you can be as lazy as all 4 of us on our worst day and get a phenomenal result with very little to no chance of the streaking and the weird finishes that a lot of the other products that have tried to do this have found. So we talked about this at SEMA last November, and where we just launched it this week across the board. The rag companies, you guys will have it available very, very soon. And it is a game changer. So it comes 2 ways. You buy it with the hose adapter sprayer right here. So this is going to be the slightly more expensive kit that you're going to see, which comes in the box right here. So this comes with everything you need to hook it up to your garden hose and go. And then it will also be sold where it's just the bottle as the refill. So, of course, you're going to get a better cost per application while buying the refill because you're not buying the actual, should we call this an adapter?
Perfect.
applicator.
Yeah.
But yeah, Levi had an early version of it, 2 months ago, give or take.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
I like
it's
it.
on my personal
It's awesome.
yeah. So
All
Yeah,
right.
I like
Well,
it. I
thank
like
you
the
so
ease of it.
much.
And it's great for those of you with like RVs and boats and stuff like that. You can use it. There's a marine version as well coming out of the Easy Coat. So really nice stuff.
aquatic safe. That
Yep.
was hard, by the way. Getting it
All
to
right.
where it can go into public waters.
I've got the music rolling in on me. I know. He's like forcing us off like it's the Academy Awards here. So, guys, thank you so much. That 2 hours just like flew by. It was crazy. That was 2 hours, guys. Did it feel like it? It didn't seem like it to me. But, Eric, I want to give you a huge thank you because you made this an excellent Q&A. Great guest, Eric. Thank you. We'll have you on again, no doubt, to answer more Gtechniq questions. Levi Anthony, I know you're off in other rooms right now, but thank you for being on the Q&A the best way we could do it for the time being. And guys, I'm going to say one more time before they throw us out here with the music. Go subscribe to the FAQ channel. That's number one. Number two, go to theragcompany.com and look at the new Gtechniq products. Stuff's there. Should be able to find it now. And there will be more surprises showing up as the week goes on. Next week, as time goes on, more things will be appearing. So it's not everything there today. It's gonna keep rolling out. So anything left before we go, guys?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, that's easy enough. So, guys, take us away. Till next time. See ya.
See ya.
See you.